grab your cup. Let's talk about the different places you could be when you're stuck in chronic stress and anxiety. You've probably heard of fight or flight mode, right? So let's talk about where the nervous system and where your patterns could be in your body and in your life with each one of those. It's not really stages, because to me, stages means you move through them in a particular order. These are more like places that you could be stuck in your thinking and in your body. So the first one I want to talk about, though, is where you're supposed to be, how we're designed to be. And that's in safety. That's in connector mode. We're connecting to each other. We feel safe. Our body feels at peace. We sleep well. Our immune system works wonderfully to handle when we get sick. We don't get sick a lot. That's when we're feeling like we're most happy and at flow in our life and what we're doing. You digest your food well. So that is called connector mode, or rest and digest. That's where we're meant to live most of our life. That's how our bodies are designed to work well, and emotionally and socially what we want to be doing as social human beings, okay? The next one, and you may have heard all of these, but they're slightly different from each other. That's why I'm going through them. Fight mode, you've heard of fight or flight. Fight is when your body is like, to me, it's like walking around with a sword and shield up all the time. You're ready for a fight. You're expecting a fight. The body feels like it's revved up, like your heart is racing. You may be used to kind of feeling revved up, but if you were to pay attention and look at the physiology, heart is up, sweating, difficulty sleeping, a lot of tension in the body, can't relax. When someone is in fight mode, their thinking is very critical and judgmental about themselves and about other people. So what's wrong with everybody? That's the person who's easily going to have road rage when they're out in traffic. That's the person who is hyperly criticizing themselves. And the thinking can be very all or none, like I always do this. Why do I always mess up? Or you never listen to me. So using words like that in a judgmental and critical way, that's the fight mode. Flight mode is a lot of the same body symptoms. So a lot of tension in the body, elevated heart rate, doesn't sleep well, all the things that would come from living that way, digestive issues. But the thinking is a little bit different. So in fight mode, people tend to be hyperly focused on a problem, like pinpointed on a particular issue, ready to fight. In flight mode, people are more like going over and over in their head, more focused on like, why did that conversation go that way? Replaying things over and over, not able to go to sleep because they just keep reliving it and questioning it and feeling bad about it. The next one is freeze. So fight, flight, freeze. When you're in freeze mode, this is when we start to move and you feel more apathetic. So instead of being revved up in anxiety, it can feel more like depression, like flatlined. The thinking is kind of can't stay focused, is just takes themselves away. Oh, I wanted to say in flight mode, people take themselves away in their patterns. So working all the time, overworking like that, or just staying busy, taking themselves away with substances, so alcohol or food. In freeze, taking ourselves away looks differently than that. It's more like taking themselves away in their mind, dissociating a bit from what's going on. And that's why the apathy and the depression is there. So feeling like you can't stay focused on anything, whereas fight mode is focused all the time on the problem and ready for a fight. Flight mode is focused on replaying over and over and staying in anxiety. Freeze is I can't focus. I just tend to check out. Might even be in the middle of a conversation or when I'm trying to do things. So it's just another place to be in nervous system dysregulation. Regulation means you're in that first one, connected, safe, peaceful. When you're not there, these are other places that you might be. So fight, flight, freeze, and the last one is called fawning. Think of somebody fawning all over you. Oh, can I help you? Oh, what can I get for you? Oh, sit down, let me do that for you. That's why it's called fawning. That person is also nervous and has in their physical body anxiety feelings like that, but the thinking is different. Their thinking is focused on everybody else, very tuned into everybody else's emotions. What if they're mad at me? What if I say something and they don't like it? What if they're not happy with my performance or how I do this or anything like that? So the thinking is very focused on other people, liking them, making sure other people are happy. That person is so in tuned to how everybody else is responding emotionally. They're not noticing and they're putting down, shoving out of the way their own emotions and their own needs. So those are all nervous system responses based on how you've lived your life. Most of them we figure out when we're very young, like that, taking ourselves away, the freeze, being a little bit dissociated, very much how kids can handle when you're in a household and there's a lot of fighting or there's uncertainty and you're never sure what you're going to, be walking into when you get home from school, things like that. So taking yourselves away in your mind is a way to feel safe. These are all ways to try to feel safe because the nervous system is not in safety, connector, fight, rest and digest, where you're meant to be. So in return to you, when we're looking at our patterns, when we're rewiring how we think, and we're releasing emotions that have been held and not processed, and we're teaching the nervous system how to leave those different places and get back to a regulated state so that you can connect to yourself and create the life that you want. That's the work that we do. And yet, really understanding this is all about being dysregulated in my nervous system. And that happens because of what I think and how I feel. And that shows up in my relationships, and I can see it in my body and how happy I feel in my life. That's kind of the whole big picture. So I hope that was helpful. If you know that your patterns in your life and in your body are one of those fight, flight, freeze, or fawn places, you feel a little bit dissociated, you feel always ready for a fight, you have a lot of tension, you can't sleep, you're focused on other people, you're very critical and judgmental, and you might not be just in one, right? You might be in more than one or move from one to the other depending on what's happening. Drop me a comment. Let's have a conversation because it's a new year. Always a good reason to say, how can I really make things go differently? What can I put my attention to? And if you're ready to do that, I'm happy to talk with you about it. So leave me a comment that you're ready and we'll connect. Okay? Have a good day.